What is up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be talking about what you need to do to beat the new mythic items that were added in the Dragon Ball Z update. We have the Nimbus Cloud Glider and the Kamehameha ability. Obviously, one of these is going to be more annoying than the other, and that is going to be the Kamehameha. I don't really see many people having a problem with the glider, but in today's video I'm going to be going over how I play against these items and just some tips for dealing with them. If you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the Dragon Ball collab thus far in Fortnite. Overall, I think it's pretty decent. These items kind of unbalanced, but it definitely was a pretty impactful update that we ended up getting yesterday. For starters, I'm going to talk about where you can get them. The Dragon Ball items spawn in capsules that drop on the map, similar to how supply drops work. They fall from the sky. They'll be marked on the map where you can get them. You can open those up and you can get it that way, or you can get it by killing people who already have it, obviously. And then finally, you can get it from vending machines. So pretty much anywhere where there's a vending machine on the map, there's a chance for it to spawn as a Dragon Ball vending machine in that given game, and you will be able to buy either ability for 250 gold. So and it seems like the spawn rate of the vending machines is decently high. From my experience, when I land at a named POI, it's pretty decent chance one of the vendings there is going to be a Dragon Ball vending. So those are how you get it. It's pretty easy to get. And if you are getting annoyed with these items, just know that it's likely only going to be here for 2 weeks. That is how long the challenges are set to last. So I'd imagine the items will be removed by that point as well. And it's also possible that we could see changes to these items over the course of the next 2 weeks. Could end up getting nerfed just outright, or even having the drop rates of them nerfed, like maybe less capsule spawn, maybe less vending machine spawn, maybe the price of the Kamehameha goes up. Typically, when new items like this get added to the game, the spawn rate of them and the impact they have on the game is really high, and then over time, that kind of gets reined back. Think of how the plants were at the start of the season. At the start of the season, plants were really OP, and everyone had gold loot all the time. And then as it is now, the plants are often ignored, and I don't really see anybody bringing them up at all. So just keep that in mind. It's only here for 2 weeks, and it's likely to get nerfed, potentially. So with the cloud, this is going to be the easier one to discuss. I don't really think there's much that you really need to keep in mind when you're playing against this item. It lets you basically redeploy and fly around, but you are much slower than if you were to like hit a launch pad or a rift, or if you were just coming off of the battle bus. Like, it's much slower movement, and you don't have as much like side to side movement, and that makes it much easier to shoot people out of the sky. I feel like anybody with like average or even slightly above average aim really will not have a problem frying somebody out of the Nimbus glider. And what you need to keep in mind with that is that this is not an item that you can just use to run away from fights. Maybe that'll work out sometimes for you, but if the person you're fighting against has halfway decent aim and you just try to fly away from them with the Nimbus glider, odds are they're going to be able to fry you, no problem. So don't think of this like shockwaves where you could just like outright decide a fight isn't happening. Really, the only time I use this is to push people, and oftentimes I use it to get up really high, and then I immediately like deactivate it. That way I can land on them. So if you didn't know, when you are gliding with the Nimbus glider, if you select it again and then you hit your action button or your shoot button, it'll actually detach you from it, and then you'll fall and you'll just avoid fall damage. So just flying around like this, you're a really easy target. It is good for traveling around the map rather quickly, though. If you just want to like use it for traveling, that's fine. But in a fight, I feel like shockwaves are probably better still. One thing that is really nice about this glider, though, it is basically the hard counter to the Kamehameha. The Kamehameha is basically like a really powerful charge SMG. Like, the person who wants to use it has to hold their shoot button to charge it for like a set amount of time, and the longer they're charging it, the more use they're going to get out of it, obviously, similar to how the charge is. But if you hit your Nimbus glider, like the moment they start shooting the blast at you, you're just going to go straight up, and you go up really quickly. I said before, when you were flying, the movement wasn't that fast, but that initial burst of movement is really fast, and that essentially hard counters the Kamehameha, because when you do that initial burst movement, they're not going to be able to hit you, and then by the time you're going slow, you could just cut your thing and detach, and then you're going to be going down rather quickly, and they're going to end their Kamehameha in that time. I'll have a clip playing on screen now where I literally did that to somebody. I was shooting them as they were charging their thing. Once they started to hit me with the energy, or once it got close to that time, I hit the Nimbus glider. I go towards them, I land on them, and then I kill them. It's really easy. If you are someone that's having a hard problem or having a hard time dealing with the Kamehameha, carry the Nimbus glider and use it just exclusively if you're in a fight when they use the Kamehameha on you. Obviously, if it's on cooldown, you won't be able to do that, so you need to be more mindful of it. But this Nimbus glider essentially makes the Kamehameha irrelevant. So keep that in mind. If you are someone, I've seen a lot of people saying they can't play the game because of it. Just carry the glider. It hard counters it. They're not going to be able to do anything to you. And the person using the Kamehameha leaves themselves as a very, very exposed target for the rest of the players in the game. They draw a lot of attention to themselves. A lot of people are going to be coming to third party that. And even if you're decent, odds are you probably got some damage in on them before they started hitting you with it. So you have the option, like that clip I showed, of potentially just pushing them with your Nimbus glider, landing on them, and then getting the kill when they're done with it. In build mode, obviously, you can just try to outbuild it. I wouldn't just stand still and try to turbo build against the Kamehameha, although I did have that work for me in one instance. But if you're like tunneling or something, or building and like moving around at the same time, you will be able to outlast this blast like pretty easily. The thing about it is it does a lot of damage really quickly, but it doesn't like stay shooting for long at all. Like you only have to dodge it for like a second or two, and then the person is no longer going to be using it. And like I've talked before about like the UFOs or the battle bus or the tanks when those were in the game, when they have these really cheesy items in the game and people are really playing off them and trying very hard to like get kills with it, odds are that person isn't the best player, and that's why they're resorting to something that's like really cheesy like that. So once that's out of the picture and you've dodged their Kamehameha ability, odds are that's probably going to be a somewhat easy fight for you from my experience. So try to get shots on them while they're charging it. Once they start hitting you with it, get behind cover, try to evade in some way, or just take your Nimbus glider and you've basically made their Kamehameha strike irrelevant, and they're going to be an easy kill for you. From my experience so far on this update, in build mode, what I've been using is the AUG, the Prime Shotgun, the Stinger SMG, heals, and then the Nimbus glider. I stopped using shockwaves for the Nimbus glider just because of the reusability of the Nimbus glider. But in zero build, the game is kind of different, obviously, because you can't build. And I really like having mobility to be able to get away from fights if you get caught in a bad circumstance, or for whatever reason you're just in a situation where there's too many people there and you're just going to die anyways. Having mobility to get you out of that situation is really nice. But I don't feel like the Nimbus glider satisfies that, although it is a nice counter to the Kamehameha ability, and it also is just nice for getting around the map. It's really hard to get out of fights with this weapon if people have decent aim and they could just shoot you out of the sky. So what I've been carrying in zero build and what I've found the most success with in zero build since this update is going to be the AUG, the auto shotty, the Nimbus glider, heals, and then shockwaves as well. You use the shockwaves if you're in a bad spot or you have to push somebody like quickly or anything along those lines, and then use the Nimbus glider just for general traveling and for evading the Kamehameha ability. And this works really well. You can actually use the Nimbus glider to like reposition all the time, especially in like mountainous areas. You can be really slippery and really annoying to play against in zero build with the Nimbus glider. And then it has a nice benefit of hard countering the Kamehameha ability, like I said. So that has been my loadout so far for build and zero build since these items were added. I have not died. I think I've died to the Kamehameha like once or twice, and I've probably won like 12 games or something today. So I played a lot today to try to like get experience playing against these items. I didn't find the Kamehameha to really be that overpowered. A lot of times it's really OP when they kind of like catch you off guard with it or something, but the person using it makes a lot of noise. And then if you just stand there and try to out DPS it, then sure, you're going to die to it. But if you just use any mobility to escape it, like almost every annoying thing in the game, if you watch my videos, mobility is the solution to most annoying things. Use any mobility, it's like shockwaves or the Nimbus glider, it's really hard for them to do anything to you. And then you can also combine the shockwaves and Nimbus glider. I'll have a clip showing that on screen now. You shockwave, and then when you're at like the peak of your movement, you use the Nimbus glider, and then you just get a little further, and then you can just immediately detach. That way you don't have this slow glide period. And this is really nice for like getting around the map really quickly or making a large adjustment in your positioning really fast. That is one thing that is nice about carrying both the Nimbus glider and shockwaves in zero build. But that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. I hope it helped you play against the Kamehameha ability. And if these two items are things that you really don't like, odds are they're going to be removed from the game in 2 weeks or so, and likely nerfed within those 2 weeks. However, the Nimbus glider is a reskin of the Witch's Broom, which is an item they add for Halloween. So expect something like the Nimbus glider to return in a month or so for Fortnite. But if you guys found this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, comment down below what you think of these items or this Dragon Ball Z update, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Dude, that's so annoying. I thought I would kill him before he got it off. I think the other player made a play on us too, maybe? I think they're both like close under me. Oh no. There we go. Why would you go for the same thing again, bro? You got so lucky the first time. That actually irritates me. He didn't properly appreciate how lucky he was that he didn't die the first time. Reduce the Stinger SMG is broken. An OP combo? Kinda. He got really lucky, though. I think if I had stuck on the hammer AR for longer, I would have killed him before he got it off, but I thought he was trying to land on me. Like, I thought he was just pulling his Nimbus Cloud and then was going to land on me, like how I did to somebody at the end of last game. And so I wanted to have my shotgun out, because I'd popped his shield, and if he, like, dropped on me and I had my shotgun out, I guarantee one hit him there, pretty much. But he ended up going for the Kamehameha play. But if I just kept my hammer AR out, I would have definitely killed him before he got it off, I think. And then... yeah. That entire situation is easier.